Well, the first time I took a life must have been when I was about 5 years old. This small child tried to steal my granola bar. I responded by wrapping my hands around his neck and choking him to the point where he could not breathe anymore. That was the first time I took a life.
So in that first shot right there, I had two primary light sources I was working with. I have two major windows in my bedroom, and as well as that, I also had some backlighting from an LED lamp that was in the corner. You could see his face. You could see his eyes fairly well. It was fairly lit, I would say, overall. His shadows were a little bit soft, and there wasn't really anything artistic about it, but I do feel like you could see everything in the frame that you were supposed to.
The last time I took a life was probably about 6 months ago, I believe. I was at home, and this time it was my brother that stole my granola bar, and I wasn't having it. It happens too many times just because he's a couple years older, so it was simple. I took my dog, I murdered him, and I fed him to my brother, and my brother died of food poisoning.
So in that shot that we just took a look at there, my outdoors during the day shot, the only lighting that we had available to us was the sun at this point in time, which really kind of just flattened out the image. There's not a lot of shadow going on just because the snow is super reflective. It just kind of softened everything. Otherwise, you could see Rob's face very clearly. I would say that his eyes still had a little bit of a shine from the sun, and that was nice to see. The overall mood, I feel like, because I framed it within the doors, does feel a little bit claustrophobic, but I feel like it works for that type of shot, that it feels like you're going to be going into somewhere.
Well, unfortunately, I can't tell you about the name of the next killing. The only thing I can tell you at this rate, it's going to come really soon, and unfortunately for the person, it's going to really suck for them because it will hurt, such as they've hurt me.
So the indoor shot of Rob, this shot, essentially, I found looked a little bit like The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's kind of vision of it. I don't know if it's the leading lines or the very one-toned hallway, but that was kind of the vibe I was getting from it. It's not my favorite shot that we've done, but it was definitely interesting. It had a bit of a mood to it, and with the question topics, I felt like it kind of worked with that Shining vibe. Overall, very good shot. Lots of good lighting from the above light. Not much light coming from out back, but it works.
Well, my fantasy killing, well, it'd have to be similar to The Purge, because I believe if I was in a scenario like that, I'd have so many opportunities to kill so many people and so many different methods, which is really the ideal situation for me. That would truly be my fantasy.
So that outdoor shot of Rob that I did, I found it to be a pretty visually interesting image. The only issue I really had with it was some sunburst effect that was coming off of the porch light. Probably could have been adjusted a little bit better, if I do say so, but I would also say that generally that kind of natural visceralness adds a little bit to the shot. Maybe that's more artistic than it is journalistic, but I would like to add that kind of element to what I do.